Three, two, one, live. Hey friends, Ernie here with the Trader of Futures, and today was another boring day in the market. Volatility is low, not much happening, so not much to report. None of these trades were triggered today or last night. So, not much to report on, other than a very successful week. All in all, we had, I think, 4 trades this week that triggered and made it to the green or to the black or whatever color that you like that means profit. So, and no losers. That's all good. So there will be only a couple things to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about the system, and we'll talk about the format of this particular show and how it will go in the future. I plan on doing exactly what I've been doing up to this point. I will put out the alerts as soon as they come out, but this part of the alert will actually be grayed out in the thumbnail, and then I'll come on today about 3 o'clock, and we'll take a look at what hit, what didn't. We'll report on that. We'll talk a little bit about the state of the system and the service, and then we'll move on. One of the things that we're going to talk about today, or mention or announce, is kind of a branding of the service. And this, it is a branding of the service. This name of the service has been around for quite some time. It has gone through different iterations, and I had always kept it in the past because I never really had discussed it with my business partner whether or not this should be something that we call it or not. But that's the name he likes, so that's what we're going to go with. The name of the service is PatternCast. So what I used to call AI setups, and it would probably take a week or two to switch everything over. But what I do call AI setups right now will be termed PatternCast. So I will, let's see. So we'll take all this stuff down here, AI setups, and we'll rebrand that. So it is PatternCast that is the name of the service. Of course, it's offered by Trader of Futures, and we're very honored to offer this to people. So that's what it's going to be called in the future. PatternCast. Hope you like that name, because whether you like it or not, that's it. So really, yeah, geez, none of this stuff hit. It all came so close. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the charts. Let's see, what did we have? We had nothing. Just really boring day. When you have lower volatility, there's not much to do. I know that some people seem to like low volatility. They feel like they're in a safer environment from a trading perspective. Low volatility is kind of the death knell to any professional trader or anybody that's trading for a while, because that means that we don't have movement in the market. Without movement, we cannot take a price from A to B, and much more difficult to find setups. So we found plenty of setups, but none of them hit. So we can see copper here never reached down to its setup price. Neither did, well, we didn't have the Dow. It started to come down, but then reversed. I don't believe CL, I don't believe oil was on the list. Let's see, I'll bring up my share and see if I can see the list. All right, so we had the 10-year note. It never really got down there. We did have a buy on the Dow. That's YM. And that was at 25,529. That was way down there. 25,529. That's right about there. Yeah, that's there. Never got down there. The Mexican peso. Let's take a look at that. Mexican peso almost got down there, but never reached. We have live cattle. Geez, I wonder what live cattle is on Thinkorswim. I don't recall trading that. Live cattle futures symbol. Think or swim. Don't see it. It's around here somewhere. So it might be LE. Let's try LE. Yeah, LE. I'll have to update that on the spreadsheet. And the price to buy live cattle was 126.18. Ooh, it just didn't get down there. Wow. That was the closest one. Yeah, I could. Wow, just by a couple of ticks. That was close enough to probably take. I wish I was paying attention to that. The target was 126.79. So let's take a look at that. Wow. Really blasted through that target. Yeah, it's too bad we didn't take that. Look at that. But it really didn't come down all the way. Almost came down there and then shot right up, and man, it just blasted through there. It's too bad. Missed out on that one. HG never hit. ES. Nothing close on ES. ES would have been a buy at 27.76, which is way down here. We didn't get anywhere close to that. No, we missed out on that. And euro dollars, which are not really euro dollars, they're really United States dollars outside of the United States. And nothing going on there as well. So it was really just a boring day in the market. Super boring. And that's okay. It's okay to have boring days. No trades. I mean, it's disappointing. Man, that cattle would really, the cattle, live cattle, that would have been a great trade. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. But didn't come anywhere close to our entry. Why don't you show the past AI reports from the beginning? Why don't I show the past AI reports? I show them every day, so you can connect the dots, and then I show in the here, I'll show you. And then I show in gray which ones hit and how they've aged. And if they age more than 4 days, then they come off the gray list. So we do show them from beginning to end. So right now there's really not much to do. These are, let's see, the March 7th ones, they were gone as of last night, I guess. So that's why they're still there, because we take 4 days. So today, they're definitely off the list. Crude oil, even though it has already gone way past the target, is more or less off the list. I mean, we could keep it on for the full 4 days and see if it goes higher. But it did pull back a little bit today. So we could look at that. Not sure exactly what we're going to see. So we had the breakout here, came back down and went back up. You know, I guess, you know, if we kept this on for another few days, then and fully and see if this last trade here on the 12th, which was just 3 days ago, one more day would be Sunday. But it's already gone well beyond the target, so we're already out. So there really is no reason to keep that on. So I would imagine then on Sunday, except for this one here, well, even that, all of these in the gray will be gone. There were no trades today. There were no trades yesterday or the day before. There were closing trades, but there were no new trades to get in. So all of these signals, all these alerts just sort of go by. And as tempting as it is to try to get into them, they're not our trades, so we don't get into them. The setup's there, so that's all we do. Like I said, about 20 to 30% of these actually hit. This week, I would say it's probably on the low side, probably more like 15% of the trades have hit. So, but that's okay. Don't have to be in the market every day. I know some of you may want to. I prefer just to make money. Can you make public January and February, for instance? I have all of the, sure, but I don't know how I'm going to present that. I'm not sure exactly what you want from that, Larry. But if you'd like to see all of the alerts that we've had going all the way back, I have all of them. So we could do that. But I don't know what's that going to do. Anyways, this is what I'm doing going forward. I'm going to show all the trades every day. If you're looking for historical performance, I've been showing these now for several months, right from the very beginning. I haven't done them every day like I am doing now. So now it's going to be easier for people to track. So if someone wants all the historical calls, I'd be happy to share that. All right, so that's about it for today. This was a very boring show. It's boring when you can't report anything. Will there be more trades available in the future if a trader wants to be really diversified with no more than 2% risk per trade? I don't know what you mean by more than 2% risk per trade. That's your risk assessment. That we don't specify anything like that. There's going to be trades all the time. We have setups for Forex, equities, and futures every day. And like I said, about 20% of them hit. And when you say wants to be really diversified, what does that mean, really diversified? The way we've set it up is that our trades are as diversified as you can get. We trade across all markets, all assets, and more importantly than that, because that's not the true test of diversification, more importantly than that, they are non-correlated trades, meaning that all the strategies are completely different. We hardly ever use the same strategy. Once in a while, one might get used over a course of a few months, but rarely do you see the same strategy come up and show. So 50 trades available, so that only 2% of the account is at risk. Well, that is your risk assessment. The way we've set it up, you don't really have to put any stops other than a portfolio stop and a time stop after 4 days after the alert. Some people will put stops on individual trades as much as, say, 2 to 3 times the target, and then hold that stop for there. Rarely do they get hit, if ever. But when you say 2% of your account at risk, that will depend on, the size of your account and which trade you choose to do and what size of the trade you choose to do. So, for example, in Forex, you can trade a full unit, which is 100,000 units, or a mini, which is 10,000, or a micro, which is 2,000. In some futures products, they also have micro contracts. And starting in May, most of the indexes will also be offered as micro contracts. And in stocks, you can trade, however many shares that you want. So our alerts have nothing to do with your 2% account risk. And if you think 2% account risk is a proper way to trade, well, that's up to you. I think that's total bullshit and bogus because it means nothing. When a big batch of stocks set up, only U.S. markets, we're getting more and more setups in stocks as we go along. It's taken a little bit to get automated so that we can put as many as we can out there. But recently, we've been putting out, a few on each setup. Today there weren't any. Yesterday there were some. But if that's all you want to trade, maybe this service isn't for you. There's a lot of disadvantages with stocks compared to Forex and futures. First of all, you have the pattern day trade rule, which says that you can't buy and sell a particular stock in any 3-day period. Otherwise, they'll shut your account down. Secondly, the tax situation on stocks is inferior to that of futures. With futures, 60% of the profit that you make on futures is taxed at a capital gains rate, and then the rest at your normal tax rate, where on stocks, all of it is taxed at your normal tax rate. And there is no day trade pattern rule in futures. So you can buy and sell a futures contract 1,000 times in one day if you wanted to. Yes, we do Facebook, Apple, Amazon. As a matter of fact, we've had those on past setups. And we'll look at that. But if there aren't any patterns there aren't any patterns. If you're looking just for stocks, this service is definitely not for you, at least not now. Maybe sometime in the future when we have a much larger pool of equities to choose from, that'd be okay. But right now we've only been adding, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the most, I think, in any one day. Today we didn't have any. But we're adding the stocks more and more. That's all I can say about that. That's all I got to say about that. So, anywho, I think that's it for today's show. I will be back on Sunday to talk about the coming week. And if you would like to get into PatternCast, that's the new name, PatternCast, or the AI setups, I'll be using that name interchangeably. Go to traderoffutures.com, right there, and sign up. Thank you very much. Thank you muchly. And we'll see you next time.